I'd
like to call this meeting to order. Please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing as Pastor Steve from Lodge Church leads us in prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for your blessings on our community. Men and women in this room who make decisions for the community, we pray that you will give them wisdom and all that they do. We thank you for their time and their talent and their abilities. And we pray, Father, that all the decisions made in this room honor and glorify you. We pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Roll call, please, Robin.
Mr. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Woodham? Mr. Carey?
Here.
Ms. Lively? Ms. Yoon? Mr. Burris?
Here.
Mr. Broderick?
Here.
Mr. Kuhn?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public participation, in-person participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. Those wishing to speak are required to sign in prior to commencement of the meeting and must address council from the seat and table provided. The public comments must comply with ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. And this evening, I'm going to hear from Michael Bean.
Yes, Terry.
Oh. That one. We wouldn't want anybody to miss work, Mike.
No, absolutely not. I will be brief. I just wanted to come before the city council and thank all of you for your swift and decisive action with the ban on kratom and the other items that came up a few months back. And just to kind of give you a heads up, some of you may already know, our illustrious executive of the Mental Health Center, Tony Kirkman, has been to speak with folks over in Clinton who are looking to possibly emulate the exact law that we put into place. Also, the city of Lincoln has asked for an audience to speak on that as well, to try to help regulate some of that stuff there. The new state regulation that just came down that we were all hopeful may put some regulation in place was very light on actual regulation. In fact, all it really did was allow these places to stay open until 2 o'clock in the morning and allow them to have a drive-through. So once again, the state of Illinois did not come through for the citizenry, but it is what it is. The city of Monticello has and done very well. Thankfully, the county followed suit. And I just wanted to thank all of you for your participation and your willingness to put the safety of the citizens ahead of other things. So thank you all very much.
Okay, thanks, Mike. I've got it. Christopher Kirkman. The public comments must comply with ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. At this time, members of the public are able to attend public meetings by web conference and to submit public comment by email, voicemail, or through web conference. Is there anyone tonight, Maura?
There's not.
Thank you. Consent agenda, approval of documents and actions items as listed. Claims report, claims dated May 27, 2026 through June 8, 2026. Meeting minutes, city council meeting minutes, May 26, 2026. Permit report, May 2026. Police report, May 2026. Fire report, May 2026. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions of city staff? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Mayoral report, mayoral appointments. At this time, I would ask for a motion to approve my appointment of David McLaren to a 3-year term that expires April 2029 on the Fire and Police Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please? I don't think there's any discussion.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, could you stand up, please, David, so everyone can see who you are if they want to give you a phone call or visit with you, they'll know who you are. Okay. I think I've got your number too. So. Uh-huh. Anyway, thank you for your service. Appreciate that.
I'm excited for the opportunity.
Very good, very good. The rest of the mayor's report, if he can find it. If I get more than 2 papers on film. Business news, welcome to Owens Funeral Home, new owners of the Mackey Wright Funeral Home. Applications for the fall Monticello Building Improvement Grant will be accepted through June 15th. Events, Eli Tow Giant Scale Model Air Show is this Wednesday through Saturday at Eli Field Model Air Park. The Monticello Farmers Market begins this Thursday, June 11th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. in State Street in downtown Monticello. Dads ride free with a ticketed child for the Father's Day train rides June 20th and 21st. At this time, I would like to make the following comments. This month marks the 1-year anniversary of the rededication of private first-class Robert C. Burke Memorial Park. The park is full of amenities for all ages, including a new playground, pickleball courts, tennis court, basketball court, amphitheater, walking paths, and Memorial Plaza. However, the design did not include a flagpole. This unfortunate oversight has now been rectified thanks to Christopher Kirkman's Eagle Scout project. Christopher successfully raised over $6,000 for a new 35-foot flagpole and planting bed. An unveiling and ceremonial American flag raising is scheduled for this Sunday, June 14th, Flag Day. So I'm just reiterating what you said, but I want to convey the appreciation of the entire city of Monticello for all that you've done for this project. So we really do appreciate your effort. Everyone knows who Christopher is. His father, Tony, is sitting next to him, okay? And his mother, Crystal's not here. So, but thank you once again. I think that's my report. Okay. Audit presentation. At this time, we're going to have an audit presentation, I assume. Is that correct? Are you here, Steve?
I am here.
Very good. Would you like to begin, please?
You bet. I'll make this simple. I want to thank the city again for having MCK CPAs and advisors as its audit team. This year's report is in all presentation respects similar to the prior year reports. I'd like to just go over some of the numbers and highlight a few things that you can find in that audited financial statement if anyone would like to look at it. So if you have it in front of you, I'd start with page 7. This is I'd basically call it, for most businesses, people would know this as the balance sheet. And so what this shows, it says a modified cash basis. So this is going to show cash and investments. It's going to show fixed and capital assets, land, things like that, depreciable buildings, and it's going to show debt. So if you see at the end of 2025, total current assets were just over 18 million, And that's actually down 6.5 million from last year. But that is, of course, because of the large projects that took place that were spent in 2025. And you can see that on the next section, which is the capital assets. Total net capital assets went up just over around 6.1 million for the year. So that's money spent minus depreciation expense on older assets. So all in all, total assets current year versus last year went down about $400,000. The good news is that liabilities for the city went down about 1.1 million this past year. And that's simply paying down on debts. There were no new loans during 2025, no bonds or debt certificates. So that's just a good pay down. And that brings total net position for the city, which is the bottom right-hand corner, 34.5 million. That's up 700,000 from last year. So things are still looking very nice and strong on the statement of net position. If you'd like to turn over to page 11, that is where we're going to see revenues and expenditures for governmental funds. So governmental funds are basically everything but water and sewer. On that, there's actually in the current year an overall decrease in revenues of about $200,000. Property taxes were up around 260,000, but the personal property replacement taxes from the state were down 430,000. And grant revenue this year, there weren't as many grants as there had been the year before. So revenue was down about 200,000. And then if you look at the expenditures dispersed, you'll see that that total of just under 16 million, that's actually up almost 6 million from last year. And if you think about current expenditures such as payroll and things for like public works, public safety, parks and rec, those expenditures were up about 750,000 this year. Debt service was similar to last year, but of course, again, the big change is capital outlay, the amounts paid out for these projects that you had. So in the end, the fund balances, this page here does not include things like depreciation and such. Those are a different report. But in the end, the net change in the fund balances for these governmental funds was nearly a negative 7 million this year. But again, that's investment into the capital assets. If you want to turn to page 14, this will be what we call the proprietary funds, which are water and sewer. And this is all just very similar to last year. Revenues up about 100,000. Expenditures were similar. Total net change in net position was up 58,000. So a little bit to the positive, but seems to be holding steady on its own. Next page I'd just like to go over quickly are 17 and 18. These are going to be, we call this the fiduciary funds, but really what this is the police pension fund that the city has. By the end of this year, the police pension fund had increased almost $680,000 from last year. The big chunk of that was that the city made an extra $500,000 payment this past year to make up for long running deficits there, just to help. Extra money helps keep this funded. And I think this Department of Insurance is, when we go over something in a few minutes, you'll see that it's definitely, we've got this much better under control than it's ever been before. So the notes to the financial statements, some good reading for financial people, some good reading for people who can't fall asleep. Note 4 on pages 27 and 28, that just talks about it just shows you some of the additions in dollar grid for what was spent this year on the capital asset additions. Page 47 of the financials also has a more detailed list of what was spent. So I'm not going to go right over that, but that's something you guys can refer to. Note 5 talks about the IMRF retirement plan that so many of the city's employees are part of. That plan, the regular plan, that is 99.8% funded at the end of 2025. That's an incredible feat. That just shows you the strength of the market at the end of the year. But it's nice for employees to know that this is such a strong plan. Most plans are deemed to be in good shape if they're 80% funded or more. So that's really an incredible spot. And then on the SLEP plan with IMRF, it decreased from 103% last year to 83.5. And I'm not sure why, but still, it's still above that 80% mark. And they will, of course, take care of getting that back to strength through current year contributions. We talked a little bit about the police pension fund. I just wanted to note that the actuaries, the real big number crunchers that look at things like age of the recipients and things like that, they said that 2025 contribution should be at least $106,000. The city's employer contributions for the year were 812. So again, a huge chunk getting you guys back up to where you're at. I think you'll see when you get your 2005 actuarial report at the end of 2005, it has not been issued yet. I think you'll see that you're going to show you pretty well funded and probably decrease the amounts that you have to pay in each year. So be on the lookout for that. That will go to Chris at Kelly's Accounting, I'm sure, and then he can share that information with you guys. Note 8 shows the debt of the city. No new debt in 2025. Note 10 discusses some of the fund balances of the city that are maybe not immediately ready to be spent, things that have been committed for projects or things that are restricted due to statute. And, that's really it. No big surprises here. The big surprise was the drop in cash and investments, but I immediately saw that was all due to investment in these large projects. So if anybody has any questions for me right now, I'd be glad to try and address them.
I do. Actually, I think that $200,000 deficit or loss in revenue is probably from us doing work on the parks and them not being used. Is that correct?
Doing work on the,
Like Burke Park and everything like that, all the renovations and stuff that we've been doing around, using loss on those parks, given that they were under renovation, they were not able to be utilized. Do we think that's where that came from?
the 200 into drop in revenue. I don't know. I can pull up last year's report real quick. And I think the main drop was the state's personal property replacement taxes this year went down
Okay.
430,000. And
would-
that's so hard to guess what it's going to be each year. So let's see here. Looks like no recreation revenue in 2024 was 213,000. So it's actually up a little bit from the prior year. So, yeah.
Anyone else? Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
I appreciate your efforts. At this time, I would I'd request a motion to approve the audit as presented.
So move.
For a second. Is there any comment, discussion? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Moving on. Ordinance 2026-36, an ordinance approving the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement between the City of Monticello and Caliber Investments concerning the property 1408 North Market Street, Monticello, Illinois. That must be Callie,
Thank you, Mayor.
since Jim's not sitting there.
We have two extensions for redevelopment agreements for the building improvement grants that you awarded in spring of this year. The first one is for 1408 North Market, which is the Caliber Investments property, former Stevens Towing. And they are doing some interior remodeling to allow for a new restaurant. Their kind of logistical plans have changed just a little bit. And so they're asking for an extension for that to the end of November, which is what we typically would do when we extend.
Okay. Comments or questions of Callie? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2026-36?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second. Sir.
Any comments? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2026-37. An ordinance approving the First Amendment to the redevelopment agreement between the City of Monticello and Heath Properties LLC concerning the property located at 1056 South Market Street, Monticello, Illinois. Callie?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is the Just Hamburgers building. You awarded a grant last year and extended the grant last year. They were really tied up with some permitting processes having to do with IDOT as well as their developer at the time. However, you see a building is up now. We're getting there. Probably not going to make that June 30th deadline though. So asking for another extension for this particular one.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Callie? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2026-37? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Again, comments, questions? May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Alderman's reports. I'll start with Tom Reed.
I guess just a thought, I saw some of the boys' baseball games this year or whatever, and what they have, a 30-win season, I believe. I think 33 or something like that. So they didn't quite make it to sectionals, I guess, but did very well. I think the softball team did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw something posted the other day and I wanted to comment on it, realized I didn't know the answer. And so I figured now would be a good time to get it out there. Somebody asked about scholarship opportunities for people who want to play rec activities. And I assumed we had something like that where we help offset costs. Is that, one, is that a program that I can direct them to? Who would be the best person for them to contact with?
I believe we do offer some things like that. They just need to call the rec department, Carlos or Mindy.
Awesome. Like I said, I figured we did, but I don't get on it.
If someone on the medical card can prove that they get 50% off the medical registration.
Awesome. Perfect.
Anything else?
Nope.
Cole?
I have nothing.
Mike?
I had a couple things. One, it's kind of, our favorite topic is trash, right? So,
Yeah, that is.
and it's usually negative, but this one was a positive one.
Positive one?
Yes. So, I'll try to make it short, but essentially, when I went out to pull in it was a recycling week, and I went in to pull in my trash hauler and not seeing that it was empty, and I accidentally pulled in the recycling, and they had come to get recycling, and somebody from Republic knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I noticed you had recycling out. You still want us to pick it up?" So, I mean, I thought that was kind of above and beyond, and they went around and picked it up. So, some of the blood pressure goes up when you think you've forgotten on the recycling week. So that was a positive.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought I'd share that story.
I had to do that.
Yeah.
I forgot to put mine out all together. And this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I came out the next morning and sitting out there. And so I asked the guy, I was like, next time I saw him, I was like, did you go and get it? He's like, yeah. He's like, I figured you just forgot. So
Yeah.
above and beyond, that's awesome.
Just remember, after a holiday, it's a day late.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought it's kind of a bonus we get somebody like that. But
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up, I've heard from a couple of residents that are concerned about what to do about the electric scooters. I know that I think the governor has something on the agenda I don't know exactly what that is. I know there have been some municipalities in this area that have said, we got to get ahead of this. I don't know, maybe the police would, I don't know what the solution is, but I think that there is some concern and we need to at least discuss to figure out how we do to address it.
I recognize and concur with what you're talking about. It's bad enough that it's like craziness around the community with these scooters and electric bicycles. And what I find most appalling is that there are people who are not of the legal age to drive operating vehicles that are powered. And obviously, young children or younger children are not going to know the rules of the road, and they're not going to know exactly what you should do and what protocols are. And I really think it's a dangerous situation. I think didn't the legislature pass something that's going to, you can answer.
I can talk about that now, or I can wait till my report.
Why don't you talk about it now? So your report will be.
So before the legislature took up 3334, whatever the bill was, Deputy Ross, the school resource officer, Victoria Dedman, the assistant state's attorney that takes care of all the traffic cases in the county, and I met, and just to kind of, we see a lot of things coming out from sheriff's offices, counties, municipalities. Everyone has their own little take on it. We want to make sure we were understanding, and we understand there's a huge gap because the state legislature, as with anything like we found out with Kratom or anything else like that, they're about 2 or 3 years behind the 8 ball. So we came up with a release that we were comfortable with putting forward, and then the state legislature passed everything. And if you read that statute, no matter what we do on the city level or a local unit of government, it's out the window January 1st. The state is taking complete control over that. At the end of each section, it says no unit of local government may change, take away, do anything with that statute. So the talk was, do we do something at the local level and we waste, $1,200, to have the attorney write something up, or do we let the state legislature go with it and we just use this as a community caretaking and a counseling thing whenever we see a kid? Am I going to write an 8-year-old kid a $160 ticket? I can. How many of you older persons would like the phone calls?
No.
Right now, we're at the counseling moment. We're talking to the kids when we see them, not stopping the stop signs in the middle of the road, not letting traffic pass, things like that. We're going to talk to them, say, hey, you need to get on the side of the road. You need to be safe about this. In 7 months, if you're under the age of 16, you aren't going to be able to ride certain things. So that's where we're at with that. We're probably going to put that out Tuesday or Wednesday.
So what the state passed will address the issue, you think?
Yeah, so what you had a gap when it came, a lot of these we're going to have to radar. So that there's a threshold of 20 or 28 miles per hour, and they can only be operated on certain roads. It can't be, think of it as the golf cart, our golf cart and UTV ordinance, but with scooters and scooters. It's e-bikes and gas-powered 2-cylinder bicycles are a different part of this statute, where really the complaints we're getting are the e-scooters. So a lot of it, last weekend or the weekend before, actually it was the Friday, I talked to, I think, about 6 different
young people,
teens, less than teens, about just not tearing up Burke Park. They're doing burnouts on the pickleball court, and from what I gather, that's going to be about 90,000 resurfaces. I don't want to write that check, and I doubt any parent's homeowner's insurance wants to go with that. There's a big green sign that says no scooters, skateboards, or anything else on it. And it's just getting kids to understand, we want you to have fun. We want you to be safe. Don't tear up things. And part of this is the parents not going down, explaining that to their kids. We're acting as the parents sometimes. So hopefully we can put this out, kind of like what we did with the aquatic center. Listen, we don't want to come down with the hand of God and, really hammer people, but, meet us halfway.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Eric?
It needs to stop being so hot. I have to put down my mulch. No, just in case. I did want to ask, Fire Chief and Police Chief, given that the fireworks, or Freedom Festival has now moved to behind the school, what do we expect with that? Do we know yet? Or is this going to be just play it by game?
What's your, what's the question?
Traffic.
What do you expect?
Traffic, parking, shuttling old people back to the back?
So if everywhere this good, I'll hammer this too.
That's fine.
Yay.
We have 102 parking spots there at the middle school. No one's being allowed to park on the grass, or you can't make your own, they don't. Whenever they have a wrestling meet, they get a check for many thousands of dollars to repair all the damage that happens out there. Because usually it's in the winter, they're trashing it, there's tire marks, the whole 9 yards. That's not the case this year, so they said we have 102 parking spots. You can use that. The vendors are going to be behind in that asphalt basketball courts in the back. They'll have some bounce houses. I'm helping the school out. We're going to rope off where the Brenda Lambert garden area is going to be. We don't want anybody to go back there and trash that up. So the Methodist Church has agreed to open up their parking for, I think, a small donation. There's 250 spots there. And then a lot of it is Crossroads Church has also agreed to allow people there. We have a lot of, the one good thing about it being on the east end of town, you can go to the county roads. It's much like B-Mets was at the ball fields.
Oh, yeah.
And you can park a mile or two away, watch them to your heart's content, have a little snack with the kids, and beeline it out there. You have plenty of county roads. You even have Old Airport Road you'd be able to go down. So we have all that. Everything else is just like we had for Golden Pond. As long as you can legally park there, you can park there. There's going to be a few roads that we restrict parking on at least one side of, and that's just because the road's about 15 to 16 foot wide, and I need 10 foot of clearance on either side. So it's going to be things like that, but we've already kind of wrapped that up. We have one more meeting on the Monday before the 3rd, but we have everything kind of set up, ready to go. We have the first responders or the fire medical people that are going to be at pregame. They've allowed them to park there. They don't want anybody else parking there. They want there. Tappan Village is very excited because it's going to be right there. They've got a nice little setup there. So
Congestion, what do you feel like? It's going to be better than?
It's going to be like a football. I mean, it's no different than a football game at, we had, Coach Woodham, how many people do you think attended the Unity Monticello football game?
A lot.
Good answer.
I mean, thousands.
So we'll be good. Okay. I'm only asking because it's in more of a residential neighborhood instead of being over in.
Yep. But I mean, we had the same thing last year. They were able to park in Sage Meadows, Forest. They're around Kirby Hospital.
Okay.
Those, and then same thing with Walden Pond, Walden Drive. We tell people, don't block driveways, don't block hydrants. Let's get a fire truck or an ambulance.
And it's year one, so we'll deal with it next year.
And to give credit to the organizers, they're doing a wonderful job of communicating.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Things for not having to reinvent the wheel, but they are. And then we are going to be helping with the communication side. So everyone's sharing the same message of where you can park, where you can ride the shuttle, where you can't park. Just to hopefully we'll start pushing that out about the week before.
Yeah. Only asked, I just had a few neighbors go, what's going on?
We were lucky to have a spot of a clean movement. We were going to have the ambulance there, fire personnel, public safety personnel, just that clean movement, and that'll be it.
I don't think your neighbors have a lot to worry about, honestly.
Well, they might be asleep before it, but I don't know.
Yeah, right. Any more? Or is that it?
No.
Rodney?
I'm done. I'm good.
Wow. Well, I guess I need a police chief's report. You got anything to add?
Well, just a couple things. Thank you for taking that. That's a win-win. We did have a juvenile search last week. A kiddo with a neurodivergent spectrum. He ran out of the community building, was gone for just under 2 hours. We located him on the north edge of town. So family is very appreciative of the way that our community, for whatever you read on random Facebook pages or here, the way the community bonded and rallied around that was fantastic. I don't see too many other towns rallying like that within a few minutes. So that was fantastic. Definitely want to thank Cole Hunt. He was our incident commander. We did start getting some firefighters out. We had a lot of agencies reach out with dogs and drones, things like that. Big thank you to Abe Jones that runs the community building. He was able to, I was able to call him. He let me get into his office, ran me through his camera system. So at least we had a direction of travel, because for the first few minutes we had nothing. Kind of going out in a firework pattern. But once we got a direction of travel, that really honed it in. We had a couple people call saying that they saw the kid right around Valentine Park. So we knew we were in the right direction. So the last thing I have is the animal control contract that we're looking at doing with the animal hospital. I was told twice that somehow a contract between us and the animal hospital and the county and the hospital existed. That was not correct. So I'm meeting, myself and John Denise, who's our community service officer, are meeting with Mr. Westner, our city attorney for these things, June, I believe, 17th, there at his office, and going through some of, they made these contracts before, going through something that benefits the hospital and also benefits the city. So, and we also walk, if you want to talk about boredom with the audit, if you want to read the Illinois Animal Control Act sometime, that's a real treat. We did find some things that may or may not have been happening that are actually really good programs. If you're on assistance, they will help pay for, the county receives money that they will help pay for spay and neutering pets, or if you're on disability, things like that. They have a microchip program that they can be run, and the max cost is $15. These are great programs. So I think we're going to, once we get our contract kind of set up, we're going to put a few things in there about, like, we want these programs, we want to make it an annual thing. I mean, I get money, it's money. You know, we only have so much, but I think it'd be really nice to use some of the funds that are set aside by the state for that to use it. There's also a place where the city can be reimbursed for any running at large dogs that we have, or cats. When we turn them in, we can get reimbursed for spay and neuter, or at least partially. So we're definitely going to reach into that. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have a little better guidance on June 17th.
Thank you. Any questions of the chief? Chief Repke, fire.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last month, we ran 52 calls. Season high, or tied with the season high for this year. The training we did CPR and ED training on the first week with Kirby Ambulance. We also we're working with them on learning some of the equipment that's on the ambulance, because most of our calls are medical, and they have a new stair chair, things like a robot, and it's really hard to, it's hard to maneuver. So we were practicing using their stair chair. We do take a lot of people on the second floor of their homes. So we were working with that. Second week, we did building construction, which is super important to firefighters to know the different kinds of constructions in buildings. And third week, we had Carl EMS out, did tactical EMS, which is like school shootings, terrorist attacks, things like that. What our responsibility is firefighters and EMS personnel, where we stand and what our procedures are in those types of situations. We attended the LEPC meeting, which is the local emergency planning committee. We have quarterly meetings to talk about different emergencies within Piatt County. May 14th, we did a touch a truck, and Rob was there. The ambulance crew was there. We had the helicopter land for about 20 minutes, and they had to take off. So kids love the helicopter. They couldn't stay. They had an emergency run. So that pretty busy month, but all pretty good.
Any questions of Chief? Thanks for your efforts. City Administrator report, Terry.
I just have one or two things. The AC unit for this room, this end of the building is broke. We will be replacing it. It's not a off-the-shelf type unit. It takes 4, 5, 6 weeks to get and install. So we may, at one or two meetings, move back to the former city council room.
I was going to say, if it's any hotter than it is in here, tonight's fine. I can handle it.
Yeah, we don't want you hot
No.
to the collar, no.
Got that.
So we may be moving
But
back to a couple of meetings at City Hall. And Christopher Kirkman's project, it's been a pleasure working with a young man like that. His mom and dad has got a great family. They originally wanted to do a flagpole at Oberheim Park. And then I mentioned our mishap that we didn't design one for Burke Park, and Christopher and Tony and Crystal jumped all over the opportunity to put a 35-foot flagpole at Burke Park. So hopefully next Sunday, 10 a.m. If you guys anybody make it? I know
And I'm a little busy at 10 on Sunday.
down to half an hour.
I can't cut it that far. Good service, man.
With the
Move it to the park.
with the pool open, it's difficult to do it in the afternoon, so 10 o'clock.
All right.
So wear your Sunday clothes, go there, and then go to church.
Is that it? That's all?
That's it.
That's amazing. Anyone have anything for the good of the cause? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.